Hello and welcome to Illuminate Your Truth. I am Elena Isis and I am your host for today. All right. So today we're going to get extra juicy and we are going to kind of dive into one of my most favorite topics. And that topic is cock worship. Yeah. Okay. Cock worship. I've talked about this in previous podcasts before. If you are interested in this topic, check out my previous episodes, How to Keep Your Man. I did a part 1 and I have a part 2. And in those episodes, I go into detail about different kind of cock worship rituals that you can do. But today, we're just going to dive into it as a whole. And we're going to talk about how we can use this ancient art to help us fall back in love with our men. Okay. And I say that because I feel like we have, as a collective, fallen out of love with them, if that makes sense. I feel like we've fallen out of love with them. I do. I really feel like we've gotten to this place of and shaming. And women just really acting like we don't need men, want them, that they are just fuck ups. And yeah, I just feel like this is just old news. And I feel like this is just really low vibe. And I really feel like we should be speaking life into our men. I think we need to be shouting out the men who allow us to soften as women, who respect us, treat us with love, and treat us with respect. And I really feel like we need to shout these men out and we need to praise these men and we need to let them know that they are just what women want. And it should be the treatment for all women, for all people, for all humanity to be in a relationship with respect and love and loyalty. I think that those are all really important things, and to know that that's actually possible in a relationship is so important. Now, I think that cock worship is so taboo because I feel like we have women nowadays even man shame men's cocks. Yeah, ew, they're so gross. Ew, they look ugly. Ew. I've heard this countless times being a woman, and I don't actually want to believe that. I actually want to look at my man's cock and I want to get turned on just by looking at it. I don't want to be thinking, oh, it's disgusting looking. I don't want to look at it. Ew. No, that's not really how we need to be going about our men. We need to start loving their sacred centers and worshiping them and respecting them. And you think about a man and you think about his cock, and it's not just a cock. He has balls too. I'm literally going to be so graphic in this episode, and I don't care because I feel like those words are hot, and I feel like those words really do kind of awaken something inside of you. And so I'm going to just continue to speak this way, and I hope that it doesn't offend you. But whenever we see these sacred centers on our men, I really feel like we need to be talking life into them. We need to be speaking life into them, being grateful for them, and speaking about how we love these parts of our men, because they are simply here to pleasure us, these parts, these sacred centers, to pleasure us and to give us children. And they're just really beautiful, beautiful parts of the human body. And I really feel like we should just appreciate them more and speak life into them, because that is what it's all about. That's literally what it's all about. You really have to change how you are seeing the world. Not only how you're seeing the world, how you are seeing that world with your partner in it. But honestly, you are creating the reality that you're in as far as a relationship with them. And if you wish, to be closer to them, and not only just closer to them, but more intimate and more connected on a soul level, because on a soul level, that's really, 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 really important, is to be connected. And so we want to love every inch of our partner's body. We want to love every part of our partner. And I think that is so beautiful to say and to open up and to think about. We don't want to be like, ew, no, How can I love that part of my partner? How can I send that part of my partner love? Because all parts of our body are innocent. God created us in innocence. And so there's no part on our body that's dirty. There's no part on our body that is unclean. We are beautiful. All of us, every part. And I think that we really just need to start seeing our men and their cocks and their balls. And we really should just be getting turned on by that. This is radical. This is radical. And you know what? I'm here to say it. And I am glad that I'm here to say it. But yeah, so just getting comfortable with those parts of our partner and learning how to love those parts of our partner. And not only those parts of our partner, but those parts of ourselves. Like, oh my gosh, now these parts in the female body are called the feminine crown. So you have your womb, your yoni, you have your anus, you have these parts in your body that sacred center are our sacred centers that we have a lot of shame. We have a lot of shame there, but your crown is like your feminine crown is your pelvis, it's your yoni, it's your anus, it's your womb, it's all of those really powerful sacred centers where that need the most healing, that need the most healing and that can feel the most pleasure. And so not only do we have to love those parts in our men, but we have to love those parts in ourselves too. And we really need to get comfortable clearing these centers and bringing in healing energy into those centers and connecting those centers to the womb of Gaia. I love this work. Connecting our womb to the womb of Gaia really, not only does it step up your creative energy, holy shit, but it really helps us to transmute negative energy that we are storing in these lowered chakras. And we really do have to clear them out. We really do have to focus on sending our energy downward. It's so important. And so loving our sacred centers on ourselves and loving our sacred centers on our partner, and worshiping them. Thinking about your man's member and getting turned on. That was literally a goal of mine. Like, that was a goal. Like, that's what I wanted in my relationship. And I don't think that that's selfish to ask for. And I don't think it's childish to ask for, to want your man. You chose your man for a reason. And I don't think that it's naive to think that you can have a honeymoon relationship again. You can have those feelings again. And not only can you have those feelings, you can have more of a deeper understanding of that person because you've known them for a longer period of time. So I'm married 6 years and I feel like I am on a honeymoon times 10 because we've grown so much within the past 6 years. And now we're really breaking into this new level of learning and understanding each other in a multitude of different ways, not even just in the bedroom. And so I feel like I want to squash that myth of after you're married, it gets horrible. There's no sex. Like, you stop growing. And that's if you give up. But if you are actually in it and want to be in sacred union together for the rest of your life, you got to do some things different. And so we're honoring ourselves. We're honoring our partner's bodies. We're honoring our bodies. And we are just squashing self-hatred. More self-love. Now, cock worship. How do we do it? What are we doing here? I say that it's a lifestyle. I do, because it is just, you incorporate these things within your life and within your relationship. So cock worship is a lifestyle. And it's also a practice. So you could do this by acknowledging your man's member. He could walk in the door after work and you could just walk up to him and grab his member and just be like, I love you. I just wanted to feel it. You know what I mean? You could do that. And I have an episode called How to Keep Your Man. And I talk about flirting and how when we flirt, that doesn't always mean that we want to have sex. So listen to that podcast episode, How to Keep Your Man, and you'll understand what I'm saying a little bit better if you do. But you can flirt with him, do little things like that. Men love that spontaneous stuff. They really like when you come on to them. And so you want to try to come on to your man as much as possible, because it just makes them feel like they're wanted. And everybody wants to feel wanted. Everybody wants to be longed for. It's just in us. And everybody kind of wants that. So So yeah, we are just like learning to love ourselves, learning how to do all of those things. And it definitely takes work, but it's definitely worth it in the end. Another thing that I like to do that is actually something that you would just do for yourself, in regards to cock worship, you could journal about your partner's cock, and not even just their cock, but you could journal about a sexy session that you had, and you could journal all of the really juicy parts that you really enjoyed about the session and get really detailed and get to the point where like you're turning yourself on while you're writing this. And I like to have those little spots highlighted in my journal or marked off, and you can really use those to get you in the mood, and even just thinking about your man, and just to get you kind of excited. It's all about getting excited about your man's member. And so you want to be doing whatever you have to be doing to be excited about it. We have to get comfortable feeling pleasure and understanding that pleasure is our birthright and that we are literally here. God gave us these sexual centers and that are specifically wired for pleasure. Why are we not using these more? Why are we not exploring pleasure more? We really need to understand why it's important for us to feel pleasure. It is our birthright. Not only is pleasure good for us, it just makes life a little bit happier, a little lighter. So, it's really important for us to just heal. It's just like we have to heal our sexuality. It's just so important that we try to do that. And I feel like this journey is definitely one of those journeys, because you really have to be okay with yourself, and you really have to be okay being more vulnerable, putting yourself out there more as in regards to coming on to your partner, which is something that you may not do often, but you can do it and you can get better. Another huge thing that I had to do when I started this journey was I had to take accountability, and I had to take accountability for my libido. And I did it to actually just be like, hey, I'm responsible for my husband's sex life. I take full responsibility, because literally I'm the only one that he can go to for sex. So if I'm not having sex with him, he's not getting sex. And this is a relationship, so that's not okay if one person's needs aren't getting met. I had to heal so much to get to the point where I am at now with the relationship. And now we're having sex pretty much every night. Unless one of us is sick or tired, we are having sex. And we are happily having sex. We are looking forward to it. Sometimes even when we wake up in the morning, it's really fun. It gets kind of crazy. And I love falling in love with him even more and more and more every day. It really is worth it. And I am here just sharing my experience and how I feel like these certain tips would help you if you're in a relationship and you really want to fall back in love with your man. You really want to stop man shaming. You really want to start loving him and all of his good qualities and enjoying him and enjoying his body, and knowing that that is pleasure for you and for him. And you two can really come into sacred union together while loving yourselves at the same time. It's really beautiful. Cock worship. I am really going to be talking a lot more about this topic. I really feel like it's needed. I feel like we are tired as a collective of hearing about all the man shaming. We're tired of not speaking good energy into our men. Like, we're ready to speak life into our men. We are ready. Let's do it. There are lots of other ways that you can do this cock worship or live this cock worship lifestyle. I really like doing rituals. Sometimes I will dedicate time to just really focusing on his cock, and in a sexy session, whether that's blindfolding him, going down on him, or riding him, or just really just taking my time and like teasing him, just really exploring his body. Maybe I'll explore somewhere that I've never explored before. Get creative. The way I feel about my relationship is I am here for it all. I want to experience you at the depths, I want to experience all of you, and I want to experience all of you sexually too. because that is something you don't share with a lot of people. And so to share that with me, I feel is so beautiful. So I'm like, share it all. And you kind of have to be like that in this journey, because you're going to learn that the more vulnerable you are, the more you'll learn about yourself, and the more you'll heal together, and the more you'll learn about each other. And it's just this really wonderful dance. But rituals are really, really nice to just focus on him and just let him know that each part of his body is sacred and special and loved by you. Even the parts that we don't show to people ever are sacred and lovable. Yeah, like all of it. Like all of it. We gotta remember that and come back to that and be willing to love all the parts of our partners. It's really beautiful whenever you can get there. And yeah, but it takes a lot of healing. It takes a lot of communication as a couple, and openness. And so I'm really just here to shed light on this really ancient practice, because this is a really ancient practice, cock worship, and it was taught in the sacred mystery schools in ancient Egypt, way back in the days of Isis. And these teaching were mystical teachings, and they held power, and they still hold power. And so to be kind of unveiling this type of work now, I feel really grateful that I am able to do this and to speak about these things, because they're not really easy to speak about. A lot of people get offended by the words, and you just have to be open-minded to the words, and just hear and feel and see what you and if you want to try it, see what you experience. But I'm bringing this ancient art back. It's time we start speaking life into our men and loving our men, honoring our men, and worshiping them and the beautifulness of what they are, because they are just the pure divine masculine. It's just magical and beautiful, and I really feel like we're ready to experience the full depths of a sacred union, sacred love. Let's bring it back. Families are under attack out here, and I really feel like bringing back this sacred union, this sacredness between male and female, this respect, this love, this loyalty, this trust. I really feel like it can really help and heal a lot of relationships and strengthen the family unit, which is always really, really good. Wow. So thank you all for tuning in. I really do plan on talking a little bit more about cock worship and diving a little bit deeper into it. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for listening. Remember to please rate my show. I definitely appreciate that. It just helps me to grow. And definitely follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram. Go check me out. Thank you so much for tuning in. I just really love delving into these topics with you all. And I hope you have a wonderful day. All right. Bye for now.